Rocket God. Good evening. Is the microphone on? Yeah, the microphone's on. Just checking the levels going up and down. really thought there was more science around here to collect, but there isn't. Hello, SP. Well, lander with the twist. Hang on, we've got science there. EVA science experiment. I'm not going to do an EVA in flight. See, it's asking me to do an EVA in flight. I'm not going to do an EVA in flight. Not yet. Not yet, anyway. Maybe we can think about that with another vehicle. And tomorrow I'll build a Moonire 1. Is that a base or a rover? And it will be a twist. Speaking of rovers, we haven't had a rover, or I haven't had a rover on the moon yet. I've had a rover on Minmus, but not a rover on the moon. I did see Elijah Blockhead Gaming did say, "Can you read this in your next name your next vessel, Brian?" I'm just trying to think of what we need to make next. I'm tempted to make another rover carrier aircraft, but one that carries the rover on the outside. Maybe we can name that Brian, or name the rover Brian or something. Well, I got to stop the. When I press the gear button, it changes the gear on the rover inside. I should have changed that. Can you hear me? Yeah, the microphone's going. I can see the microphone levels going up and down. Alright, speed up a bit to change the trim. Bring the speed down. It's kind of smart. Yeah, have the rover on the outside. That might be easier. Like the cranes. I'm not sure if you've seen the cranes we've got on Minmus. Because I've got like orbital cranes on Minmus which can take like habitation modules into orbit from Minmus. We've got the cranes up there that could do. I'm worried about stalling. There we go. We've got to be careful because it's low to the ground. I didn't want it too high off the ground, and like we could put the wings lower down with a longer gear, because when we got the back door open, I wanted the rovers to drive up inside, and if it's too steep, maybe the rovers wouldn't have the power to go up there. Recover vessel. You know what you could do? What's this idea you've got in SP? Here we go. We got the science from the island. 100% value on recovered parts. Oh, I didn't put the what you call it? The funds tracker on. There you go. Get the funds tracker working. So that'll show the funds changing at the top. And if you get it right, it'll be perfect. Like, we could make a much bigger rover, because I was thinking just then when we were on the island, wondering about flying somewhere else and trying to gather science somewhere else. It takes too long to get to the poles. I did have an aircraft go to the poles once before, but it just took so long to get there. It's awkward doing an inclination burn and uses up a lot of fuel in orbit to try and land at the poles, and of course it's harder to get back if you're trying to, you'd have to do a single stage to orbit and actually land it and then take off again. It's going to be too hard. It's going to be too hard to do. So it's easier to get an aircraft and a rover to the poles. So I'm just wondering, maybe we need to build a bigger rover. Build a bigger rover. If we go here and then go grab where's the cockpit section? What are we looking for? It's that one, isn't it? We can change. We can turn it to that. There you go. That's the start of a rover. What do we do with this? Thanks. Structural. Remember, we've got to get Kerbals in and out the back, haven't we? See, is the game smart enough? Because there's a door here and a door there, and if you have a Kerbal go on EVA, is the game smart enough to not clip the Kerbal into whatever's in the back? You know what, we could try that, couldn't we? We could try it. We'll stick a Kerbal aboard. Right, there's 2 Kerbals in there. Right. Launch. Okay, right, let's press F5 so we can save it. Right, if we select, right, Valentina going on EVA, boom, Valentina's at the top, right? Okay, so, alright, the Kerbal's at the top. So we'll do it again, stick this piece on the top and see if whatever Kerbal's inside can come on the go on the back. Right, right. Let's recover vessel. Do you have any DLCs or mod? I have all the DLCs. The only structural mods I've got are the aviation lights. So all the rest is stock. Everything else is stock. Because I had a lot of bad experiences when I used to modify or get modded Flight Simulator back in the day. Because I used to play Flight Simulator 2002, 2004, and I used to go to conventions and just do stuff on Flight Simulator. So if we put that there, and some of the mods were so bad, and I just thought it's not worth messing around with mods. I'll stick mostly stock. The only non-stock stuff I've got is, I mean, I've got a few of the stuff at the side, but when it comes to structural, is the aviation lights. The aviation lights. So, see, they're just aviation lights. The idea was so I could have red and green lights on the side, so that you can see which side the aircraft is. The nav lights. You do not have to answer this, okay? But how old am I? How old am I? Why do you need to know that? Why do you need to know how old I am? Okay, let's go and see which Kerbal. Yes, see, the Kerbal appears at the back. Right. Board. Okay. You just sound old, not to be rude at all. Oh, I sound old. Okay. All right. So that's why I'm curious. I sound old. Oh, that makes me feel old. Yeah. Okay. Let's just say I'm not the oldest Kerbal streamer. I know of 2 streamers who stream Kerbal Space Program. 3 actually. 3 who are older than me. There you go. I know of 3 streamers who stream Kerbal Space Program who are older than me. There you go. Right, what are we going to do with this now? Get rid of those lights. Just trying to think of ways to turn this into a rover. You know, a bigger rover that we can transport on the outside of an aircraft. What's that? Oh, the DLC's worth it. Yeah, they provide a lot of stuff. A lot of I don't know which engines specifically, but there's engines which look like realistic engines, like this one. I believe it's this one. Yeah. You know, so they give you more engine choices and things like this. And they just give you a bunch of parts. I believe it's just mostly parts. You just got more choices, and because they're stock, you know they work and they're not going to cause a problem. They're going to be realistic. I mean, you can still play with the stock game. You can still play with the stock game, and then you can always get the DLCs later. They might have different. They might modify the sort of contracts you can pick up to make money and things like that. But I don't know. I can't remember offhand what the differences they make. What things are in the DLC. where you like team up. There's no multiplayer. The multiplayer mods for Kerbal, but it was never an official multiplayer thing. They tried to do multiplayer in Kerbal Space Program 2, but of course development of that was halted. Tilt your wheels at 90-degree angle for traction. Yeah, I don't even know if we're even going to get to the poles. What do you mean? Like that, a bit camber and... Yeah, because Kerbal's been around for a while, something. Yeah, Kerbal's been around for a while, so there's not many people streaming Kerbal these days, is there? I mean, even the streamers I've been talking about, you know, Scott Manley and EJSA and Red Panda, that it's only EJSA who's actually doing Kerbal on the streaming Kerbal regularly. You know, I haven't seen any Rover dudes streams for a long time. Oh, Linux Guru Gamer is still around. He's Linux Guru Gamer still does stuff, and he's active on Discord. So yeah, a lot of the big Kerbal streamers are they're still around, but again, I think it's only EJSA who's doing Kerbal regularly. Twitch, there's only 10 at a time usually. Yeah, I mean, I normally stream on Twitch. It's only just the last couple of weeks I'm experimenting with streaming on YouTube. I normally stream on Twitch. But again, I haven't streamed Kerbal for about 18 months, and I only picked it up again this week because I've been streaming. What have I been streaming? Fallout 76 for a long time and Derail Valley. Alright, we need cargo. We need repair kits because we could break those wheels. repair kits. EVA science. Sure, we've got a. Oh, we're gonna have to have an engineer and a scientist. We don't need a pilot. So we'll stick a scientist aboard. What else can we do? What else can we do? Some more experiments on the outside. Oh yeah, that's some other mods I've got. Sorry, I mentioned mods. I do have some science mods. Why don't you airdrop the rover from space? Because it'd be difficult. It'd be difficult. Oh, we could try and develop a space plane. Yeah, these are some mods I've got. Ravioli detector. Dust experiment. Mystery goo. I mean, most of these I've already used. Yeah, yeah, you're right. That's what a weakling would say. Well, you could bloody try it, couldn't we? We haven't named this. We're going to name it P.115 Rove King. Hang on. I'm looking for a hanky a second. Sorry, I just had to do my nose. Yeah, we could try and airdrop a rover. I mean, what would you need to do? Like stick engines on this or something to, or a bunch of parachutes. Thing is, I don't like leaving junk elsewhere on the planet and like to bring it back. But then that's another challenge, isn't it? That's another challenge. Where's the docking port? Stick a docking port on it. Thing is, that's going to block all the Kerbals. So they can still get out of that door, can they? Well, we'll try it now. Hang on. Because if we can pick it up by that, save. What Kerbals are in it? It's a scientist and engineer. Save, launch. Come on. Right now, just make sure it works. Yeah, of course it works. Watch the power going down, electric charge going down. Right, and make sure we're going to have to stick a ladder or something on this, aren't we? Make sure there's a lad. The Kerbals can still get out. The Kerbals can still get out. Okay. So we're gonna have to stick a ladder on there so you can still get up there. So what are we gonna do with these batteries? We can put a battery somewhere else, can we? It's not going to get too in the way of the docking ports here. Save, right. Ladders. Now, where are they? Utility. Structural. I need some to stop motivate me. Stop playing War Thunder and play Kerbal. Play whatever you enjoy. You don't have to play Kerbal. Mind you, I got some serious number of hours in some games. It's like Company of Heroes 2, for instance. I got over 2,200 hours or something in that, and when I realised that's like 75 to 80 days of my life in one game. No, sat there 24 hours a day for about 75 days of your life. It's like, yeah, so sometimes you do need motivation to play something else. So I'm worried about these ladders clipping into the ground. But you want to play Kerbal and build something, yeah. No, I do get bored of Kerbal. Like I said, I haven't played Kerbal for about 18 months, and well, I will get bored of it at some point. Can the Kerbal still board by there? We'll try it. But then with Kerbal, it's also worth just spending time thinking about it. It's like one thing I used to do is because I draw. I mean, you can see I'm advertising. I do occasionally advertise my drawing, and elsewhere on the channel I got my drawings. I used to go drawing, and in the back of the sketchbooks, in the back of some of my old sketchbooks, I've got Kerbal things where I've drawn Kerbal craft, and had ideas when I'm out and about. So it does benefit sometimes just thinking about what craft you can build, and you don't necessarily have to be physically playing Kerbal. You can always just decide, oh, I want parts to go here, the craft to look like this, like that. I think that's how I designed the moon habitations I've got on Minmus. I got habitations on Minmus, and I couldn't work out how to do the legs because the legs were too long. Because the legs I used hydraulic cylinders for the legs, and instead of attaching them to the bottom, I attached them to a top. I can show you on Minmus if get out. Let's just do this test. Right, can the Kerbals get out? Yes, they can. Right, so the Kerbals are out. It's always good to train your creativity, yeah. Right, she's going to fall off there. Boop. Right. Right, if we go grab. Make sure they can get back aboard. No, they can't. Hang on. Yeah, they can't climb over there. Can't climb over. Why aren't they climbing up? Why aren't they climbing up? Okay, we have to do something about this. Let go. Boop, balls. Okay. Alright. It's good to test. Always good to test. Right, recover the Kerbal. Right, so let's change this design. Oh, my back hurts. I'm sat awkwardly on my chair again, so you might hear some fidgeting because I'm dropping some bottles now. Right, yeah, because my cat is on the buffet under my desk. She sleeps on the buffet under my desk, and so I can't put my feet on the buffet. Kitty. Yeah, we still can't do it. Yeah, occasionally she'll jump on the desk and spoil the stream, or sit on the keyboard, or sit in front of the monitor. Yeah, can't get up there. Okay, we'll have to stick some grab handles on there, I think. So what I'm thinking about doing is do another carrier aircraft that can carry this rover on the outside, and then maybe we can make like a space plane or stick it onto the top of a rocket or something, and then take it to one of the moons. So that's, I guess, that's the long-term goal, I guess, for this thing. And this is a career game, so the money makes a difference as well. So if we get under 1 million, then we'll start doing some contracts to try and get our money back up. Okay, grab handles. Grab handles. Where's this? New utility, is it? Grab handles. Far back can be that. Kerbals can still get out, can they? Well, we'll try it now. We'll try it. Save. Launch. Oh, I haven't taken my antihistamine, so I'm scratching a bit. It's 1:37. I'm due to take them now anyway. Once again. Yeah, test once again. And that's what Kerbal's about. Attach it to a rocket. Yeah, we'll attach it to a rocket in long term. I mean, we got... Then... Or drop it from orbit. That's what we can say. I don't know, we could just attach like gantries to the side and have rocket engines on the end or something. Oh, now I'm going to get ideas. Get to a good point. There we go. Handles. I don't like the way the grab handles clip into there, but it does work, I guess. I don't like clipping things too much. I don't want it to seem unrealistic. I know it's a bit fussy and other people don't seem to care, but other streamers, but I want it to at least look good. So it bothers me the way it clips in there. How long have I been streaming for? 1 hour 16 minutes. I'm going to aim to go for at least 2 hours, but it's 1 hour 16 minutes gone already. Okay. Okay, we've got a docking port on top, so if you can pick it up by a docking port, I mean, it doesn't matter, it's not over the centre of mass, it's okay, but there, isn't it? And a couple of extra mods to this will utility. Where's the other light? There's another light. That's the one I was looking for. Unless they changed the design. Alright, that'll do. Save that. Right, there's a docking port on top. Go new. P.116 Rove King spell it carrier. Rove King carrier. Right, what pod are we going to use? Does it even need? It doesn't even need to carry a Kerbal, does it? Thinking. Fuel tanks. glide it with a glider, yeah. What, you mean, or does it attach wings to it? I don't know if you've seen the boat I got that goes out and picks up stages from the water. I have tried to put wings on that, and it didn't go well. It didn't go well. There might be videos of that on this channel. Yeah, we could try and glide it. I mean, I do like these long, thin wings. You know, you got that French aircraft, which I can't even pronounce, Harald de Bois or something. You know, the Shorts SD 330 and 360 use a similar sort of wings. So I do like the glider style wings or the long wings. Oh, that'll do. Of course, it gives us a nice slow aircraft to easily control. It's not showing SP's last message. It's just got like roundy things. We are still streaming, aren't we? Yeah. Just making sure. No, it's an emoji. Oh, okay. My mistake. It's an emoji. Okay. I thought something had gone wrong then. Yeah, it's an emoji. Okay. I thought something had gone wrong. It's not loading your comment. I thought. Yeah, I'm not used to streaming on YouTube. My cat's fidgeting. Cat is fidgeting below the on the buffet. I'm worried she's going to get up and want treats or something. She's had treats tonight. Okay, we've got those. Make sure that they only operate in roll. So turn off pitch, turn off yaw, turn off pitch, turn off yaw. Okay. I'm not going to check center of mass and center of pressure and things just yet until we got a little bit more made. Because the idea is, what I'm planning to do is have where's the structural thing? What's that? Kind of C6. Right, put that there. And then we can grab the docking port. Make sure they're sorted by. We can have a docking port there. Okay, let me cue something else to listen to on the other monitor. How do you get mods? How do you get mods? Or how do you get mods? There's a folder in the Kerbal Space Program folder, and you just drop them into there. And let me have a look. Let me have a look. Because I've got a... I'm just going to have a look a sec. There's a game data inside the Kerbal Space Program folder. There's a game data folder, and you just extract the zip or whatever, 7-zip or whatever mod you get into that folder. It's like the aviation lights one. There's a parts and plugin subfolder in the aviation lights folder, and and the files. There's a bunch of files in there. That's all. So like the mods are in a folder. Yeah, you just extract them to a folder. There's a folder called game data inside the Kerbal folder, and you just extract them in there. Like a lot of the mods that have been made for Kerbal over the years have been abandoned, but I mentioned a Kerbal streamer earlier, Linux Guru Gamer. You know, he's active on Discord. I've talked to him and watched his streams and that. And what he does, he's one of the modders. He takes over all the mods, or a lot of the mods, which other people have abandoned, other people have made and abandoned. So a lot of the mods out there are still maintained, and because it's all maintained by one person as him. So if you look at Linux, his name's Linux Guru Gamer, and he's on. I think he's on YouTube. He's on Twitch. All right, what are we doing now? We're gonna. Where's the docking port? Docking port. Yeah, I'm just trying to think how to do this. We know we got that there, and then we got that there. We got that there, and we know we clipped that a little bit in there. So this is just like a boilerplate. That's just there temporarily so that we know what we're doing, know what sort of height we got. Then we had one of these on the bottom, and then we had a gear on the outside, didn't we? Right, so we know that that's how tall the landing gear needs to be. What's the tallest landing gear we got? We got that. So one's too short, one's too long. So we might have to have little stub wings or something. And then we can put landing gear on there. We haven't thought about sticking a nose gear on this yet, have we? Because the other things, the other vehicles I've made to pick, the other aircraft I've got to pick up downed rocket stages, they used 4 landing gear. It's hard to take off with them because the rear landing gear is behind the centre of gravity and behind the centre of pressure, and so you don't have much pitch when you're on the ground on takeoff and landing runs. You don't have much elevator authority. Good. Shrink that in a little bit. Could just get rid of that altogether and then just directly connect that there. It's not going to go, is it? Do you have stock planes enabled? No, I don't think I do I? Because if I go open, cancel, let's save this. I don't have any of the stock planes in here, I don't think. I think I started building all my stuff myself. Because when you set up a new game, you can have stock planes, can't you? I don't think I've got them. I'd like to make my own, to be honest. My own. I think it's when I started playing this, my career save. I think the idea was to try to learn on my own. Tell you what I could do, I just move the whole wing down. There we go. That's what we'll do. There we go, sorted. I don't think how we're going to do this. Right, I'm just going to queue something up on the other monitor. Save that. Okay. Cat on desk. There's a cat on the desk. Emergency. There's a cat on the desk. What are you doing? What do you want? She's sat on the mouse mat, so I can no longer use the mouse. Oh, she's walking over into the window. That's how she accesses the window in my room. She walks across my desk. Okay, she's moved. Right. Gotta stop everything for a cat. My little kitty. Right, where are we? No, she's back. What do you want? What do you want, kitty? Just want a bun. Yeah, she's stood right in front of me and she's molting everywhere, and I got a cat brush next to me, so I got to brush her a sec. Just click off and show you the reason why I've had to stop for a second. Because look at her. Okay, I'm gonna have to go and give her some treats or something, otherwise she'll be around me all the time. Okay, I'll be back in a minute. is sort of just get comfortable again. Oh, let's get that back on. Turn the light off. Just a mouse mat. Right, my cat is outside, but the back door's open, so I got to remember to go and shut it whenever she comes in, because if I keep the door open, it means she's free to come in and out as she pleases. Okay. Don't like the way the elevator clips in there. So the further the elevator is from the centre of mass, the more effective it is. So this only needs to control pitch, not roll. So right, the centre of mass is there. When the fuel is all expended, the centre of mass still needs to remain ahead of the centre of pressure in order to keep it in control. So we've got to always test it with and without fuel. Is the microphone still on? Yes, microphone's still on. I've got to check that because sometimes I forget that it's on. No, I don't think we've thought this through enough, have we? Because these wheels are going to prevent us doing rotating on takeoff. Yeah, we haven't thought this through. Well, I'm surprised it worked. I mean, we could try it. Is it going to work? Should we try it? All right, hang on. I forgot to name it Brian. One of the commenters earlier wanted me to name something Brian, and I forgot to name one of these. Wings and nuclear power SP. You might have more ambitious one than this. Look at this, a perfect landing. The Kerbal's survived. Any landing the Kerbal's survive is a good one. Yeah, we didn't kill any Kerbals. There's only the 2 Kerbals aboard, wasn't it? It's fine. Yeah, this thing needs work. Oh. Wings and nuclear power. You can attach wings to anything, isn't it? Yeah, I've got to get one of the boats flying. I've tried doing flying boats actually in Kerbal Space Program, but just couldn't get them to work. So what I've decided I'll do at some point is have something that'll take off, and then because you can take off from the water, but I couldn't land on the water. I think landing on the water was the one thing that I had a problem with. So what I'll do is with the flying boat is I'll take off and have parachutes on it and parachute down to the water, then take off from the water and land back on land, bringing back a downed rocket stage. That's what I got. Yeah, Kerbal survived. Clear the runway. Anyway, thanks for chatting. What's the time? It's 2:55 in the morning. We've been streaming for 2 hours 32 minutes, and I'm quite hungry now actually. So I think I'm going to take a break. Is that okay? I got to see what my cat is up to as well. I know it's not as long a stream as I did. What are you doing? I'm going to leave the stream right now. IDenk. Sorry. Yeah, I've just been working on. What I've just been working on is make sure the microphone is still on. Yeah, loading takes a while. I've been working on aircraft to carry rovers. The idea is aircraft like this, where I can attach a rover underneath and transport it around. So the rovers we were working on was it 115? Rove King, that's what we called it. We're still working on it. It's got quite a few bugs to work out to get this airliftable. But we had another aircraft we were working on, 114, which was quite successful. It carries a small rover in the back. This is something. How do you make a functioning plane? What? Do you know Kerbal Space Program? Do you know Kerbal Space Program? Because I mean, once you've got all the parts, you just stick parts together. As long as you've got that's the centre of mass of the plane. As long as you make sure that the centre of pressure is behind the centre of mass, and makes sure the planes are controllable. Because a lot of Kerbal beginners get this wrong, the relationship between the centre of mass and the centre of pressure. Oh, and it always explodes. Keep trying, because every time you every time something explodes, you can work on it and try and refine the design. That's part of playing Kerbal. But looking at this, make sure the centre of mass is in front of the centre of pressure. If the centre of pressure is too far away from the centre of mass, it becomes difficult to control. And then you also got the centre of thrust. And centre of thrust, at least with the spacecraft, it should go through the centre of mass. But it doesn't matter so much with aircraft. It's like, hang on, if we launch this. And also the landing gear. Make sure the landing gear is close to the centre of mass, slightly behind the centre of mass, just slightly behind. And then you've got to test with and without fuel. Right click on the parts inside the SPH and reduce the fuel to nothing, and make sure that all the central pressure and centre of mass are still in the same space, whether you have fuel in it or not. See, one of the problems I got with this aircraft, it is a bit close to the ground, but then I don't want it too difficult for rovers to trundle up inside. I don't want it to be too steep. Oh, we got Kerbals on board, so we can't mess this up. Also down here, because I'm using the keyboard, I do have a controller, but it's iffy to work, but I'm using the keyboard. So I'm holding Alt and I'm pressing S so I can trim it. So it's trimmed. See, the pitch is not in the center there, so it can hold position. You can hold attitude. Let's press F5 to quick save. Right, and then put the throttle up, take the brakes off. Off we go. I mean, this will, as long as I make sure that it's pointing in the right direction, this will take off on its own. Do you know how to make a rocket go to orbit? Yes, it's a lot of trial and error to make a rocket go to orbit. Yes, it is, you can make a rocket go to orbit. See, gear up. And throttle down. Right, let's do a circuit. Yeah, with rocket going to orbit, you've got to, once you get off from the pad, start turning eastwards to that direction, and make sure you're horizontal before the rocket gets to 70,000. I don't think it's talent. I just think it's a lot of hours playing Kerbal Space Program and breaking a lot of stuff. Because that's one of the good things about Kerbal Space Program. You can keep playing, and you're breaking something, you crash or something happens. You can start again. You can reset, start again, try and work out what went wrong, adjust your design a little bit, adjust the way you're controlling it a little bit. I mean, that's what makes Kerbal Space Program such a good game. So I'm changing trim down here. Yeah, but I go bankrupt. Oh, you're playing a career game. This is a career game as well. You can play, sandbox mode and money has no object. But yeah, I'm playing money as well. But this is a career save. That's money. I mean, you can see the money on the screen over here somewhere. I can't see this on the screen at the moment. But yeah. Just do small contracts. Well, there's a building over there. We can get contracts. Just keep doing small contracts, small, easy to do contracts. One of the things that they've programmed into Kerbal Space Program is if you do a particular type of contract to gain money, then it'll give you those sort of contracts again, rather than giving you something that's too difficult. That's one of the things that's actually programmed into Kerbal Space Program. It's like I do a lot of rescue and tourist flights to the moon and Minmus, and so there's often tourist flights to the moon and Minmus in the contract building, or rescuing Kerbals from orbit. So if there's a tourist flight to, say, Junior or somewhere, I tend to not do that because I find it difficult going that far out and away from Kerbin's sphere of influence. Are they suborbital contracts or orbital contracts? Because suborbital ones are quite easy, because you just take them up and bring them back. You don't have to worry about actually getting into orbit. Suborbital shouldn't be too bad as long as you've got lots of parachutes and just stick enough engines and rockets on, engines of fuel on board so you can get a tourist into orbit. And just keep doing stuff over and over until you get the money to do something. It's like my money is over 1 million. Where's the money there? There. See, if it's under 1 million, I'm uncomfortable doing things like making aircraft and messing around making aircraft like this and rovers. I'd like to make sure that's over 1 million. So it's just a bit of safety there in case anything goes wrong. Plus, another thing that I do is I try to recover everything to the runway, because if you recover a vessel on the runway, a space rocket or anything, then you get 100% return on all 100% value on returned parts. That can actually be adjusted when in the save game in the persistence file, or when you start a new save. Start to flare, off we go. Boop. There we go. I need to set up a key so we got reverse thrust. Alright, I'll see you around. It's 11 PM where I am. Good night. Alright, good night, Marco. See you again. And the others, because I'll be going off. I'll demonstrate going into orbit another time. I've been streaming every night this week, so maybe I can try and stream tomorrow night, because I'm hungry right now and I want to go and grab something to eat. And when we recover the aircraft, we'll see that it's got 100% return on funds from all the recovered parts. So if you go to parts, it says 100% of value, because you get more cash back from recovering parts from the runway. Like if it's just off the runway, it's only about 98%, and then the further away, it goes down to 0. Anyway, I'm hungry, so I'm going to take a break. Alright, we've been streaming for 2 hours 44 minutes and it's 3:07 in the morning, and I'm going to take a break. I'm hungry and I want to know where my cat is. She's not on a buffet at the moment, so I'm worried she's up to something.